Manufacturing is one of the most challenging models because it not only requires huge capital investments to buy thousands of units, but you also have to spend time and money developing a product from scratch. Having said that, it's one of the most defensible models, meaning it's really hard for someone else to copy you. If you create a hit product, you'll be able to reap the rewards for a long time before someone else can even come close to copying or emulating you. Let's talk about some of the benefits of manufacturing your own products. The first and most obvious one is that you can create just about anything. Do you want to make a mattress with a hole in the middle so you can cuddle your romantic partner and play Rock'em Sock'em Robots? Well, when you manufacture your own products, you could actually do that. In all seriousness, having this flexibility means you can control everything: the color, size, shape, the packaging, etc. If you have a specific experience in mind, designing your own product and getting it manufactured might be the only way to do so. Otherwise, you have to live with other people's choices. When you manufacture your own products, you have access to all three types of intellectual property: copyright, trademarks, and patents. And you can use these to protect your brand and product. We'll cover these later in this course. Even if you don't have a patent or some other form of intellectual property, it's still very hard for someone to copy you. If you start selling the newest, greatest thing and someone wants to copy you, they'll have to reverse engineer your designs, find a manufacturer, get quotes or samples, select a manufacturer, order the products, and then wait for them to arrive, and then finally start selling them. This could easily take a year for someone else to copy what you did, and in that time, you could further improve your product and dominate the market. Manufacturing is a long process, which can be a good thing to protect what you've built. Let's talk about some of the downsides. One of the harder parts of manufacturing is actually making the product. It's not just coming up with the idea, but executing on that idea. You have to figure out how to turn a napkin sketch into a real product. Some creators get stuck on this step, even when they have a great idea. You need to have access to the tools and skills to make a prototype. Some industries have professional prototyping services, and some manufacturers will help you prototype products. Of course, this takes time and money. If you don't have a prototyping service for your industry, hopefully you can find a makerspace where there are 3D printers, laser cutters, hand tools, and a community around design. When you're working with a manufacturer, there's a good chance you'll be working with someone overseas because the costs are dramatically lower. But working with overseas partners adds an extra challenge, which is language. As you're refining your design with a manufacturer, or just trying to explain your design, you'll run into language barriers. And if they interpret something incorrectly, you could have a completely broken product or a subpar product. One thing you can do to mitigate this is to work with a manufacturer that has native English speakers on staff. I've gotten quotes from multiple factories, and I've had the best communication with a manufacturer with native English speakers. Even though they might cost a little bit more, it's worth the extra cost for the peace of mind when you're investing $10,000 or more on a manufacturing run. As mentioned earlier, when you sell your product, you need to develop a brand. People have to know who you are, and they have to believe your product works. Building a reputation takes time, so hopefully you can start building a following before your product comes out, so you have customers ready to buy the day your product is available. Manufacturing requires huge amounts of capital and time, not to mention the time and skills involved in creating prototypes to prove that your product works. It's one of the hardest models to get started, but it also gives you access to intellectual property to protect your product, and you have full creative control over the product. You can literally create something that never before existed. If you can create an amazing product, this is one of the best ways to get it into as many hands as possible. Once you get to a certain scale, it is nice to start making your own products however you want. That's where manufacturing comes in. And Chroma makes glasses that let people with color blindness see colors that they couldn't normally see. The promise of the product is amazing, but they had trouble launching because people didn't want to spend $350 on a product unless they knew it worked. Eventually, they started including multicolor balloons with their product, and their customers started sharing unboxing videos, which convinced people around the world that the product works, and the company started to grow. This is a great example of a company with a great product that wasn't succeeding until they built that strong brand and displayed social proof.